I guess it's a penny revenge. Sorry, this one is long. Back in high school, I took an accounting class. The teacher, let's call him Mr. S, was a bit of an asshole. While he lectured once a week, the rest of the week spent doing workbooks solo. His rule was everyone had one full period to hand their work, and once the first person handed theirs in. Since it was basically adding and subtracting, I generally finished in 45 minutes and then bullshitted with my friend in the back of the class. He was also fast, until someone else handed in their paper. Mr. S didn't like that I finished quickly and was talking, so he moved my seat right next to his desk. At that point, instead of talking, I'd sleep while waiting for people to turn in their papers. One day, Mr. S was lecturing, and in my half-asleep stage, I saw the electrical cord of an overhead projector, yes, I'm old, land on my desk and start moving toward me. I didn't think about it until about 10 seconds later when it was wrapped around my throat. It was tight enough that I couldn't breathe. I first tried to elbow him, but the chair back was in the way. Then I tried to pull the overhead projector off its desk so that I could swing it at him. I doubt it would have swung, but I was panicking. When the projector was about to go over, he stopped and yelled, "Whoa. Whoa. What are you doing?" I turned around and screamed, "I couldn't fucking breathe, you asshole." Since I was young, I didn't think there was anything I could do, and didn't tell another adult until months later. It was the guidance counselor, and she told me there was nothing she could do, including changing my classes. If I was older and wiser, I would have called bullshit and filed assault charges. Now, on to the revenge. For extra credit, Mr. S had students sell boxes of candy for $5. I think it was for charity, but I have no real idea. I was running an A in the class, so I usually ignored it. This time, I asked for a box of candy. He looked very confused, but gave me one. Instead of selling it for $5, I sold it to my friend for $2. The next day, at the beginning of class, he asked everyone, individually, except for me, if they had the money. Then he asked if anyone else had money for him. I raised my hand and said me. Even though my desk was next to his, I got up and walked around my desk to his so that I was behind him. I then put my hand out and... 2. A handful of pennies landed on his desk. The class all looked up. 2. A second handful of pennies. The class burst out laughing. 2. A third handful of pennies and continued laughter. I returned to my seat, reached in my pocket and flicked one last penny onto the pile. He was pissed. He told me that he wanted money. My response, pennies are legal tender. I thought you'd know that as an accounting teacher. He then dumped the pennies on my desk. I put my workbook on top of them and did my work with pennies falling everywhere. At the end of class, I dumped the pennies back in my pocket. The next day, he waited until the end of class and asked me for the money. I still gave him pennies. He asked, "Did you at least roll them?" My response, "Fuck no," and I tossed a bag full of pennies at him. I'm pretty sure I didn't get in trouble because he was worried about the entire story coming out. Edit to say this was likely in 1993, possibly 1992 depending when in the year it happened.